Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge. This is your latest football transfer news, and also we're going to be reacting to the huge controversy that Crystal Palace have been demoted from the Europa League to the Conference League because of their ownership structure. Is it fair? Has justice been served? Get your comments in below. We've also got the latest transfer news. We've got bits around Chelsea. Huge money coming in again. How do they do it? What's going on with Gyökeres? What's going on with Konate? And Liverpool, also a little bit around some other bits of transfer news as well. But I wouldn't say this is a nice way to start the video, but in the tragic circumstances, it's a story I think we can all believe in and get behind, and it's just right. After the tragic death of Diogo Jota and his brother last week, Liverpool, and this has been mentioned for a few days, but it was confirmed last night that Liverpool are to retire the number 20 shirt in honour of Jota, who tragically died in a car crash along with his brother Andre Silva. The Reds took the decision after consulting with Jota's wife and family, which means the Portugal international will forever be Liverpool's number 20, which I think if there were ever 6 words to just move on and leave because they're perfect, I would say that. Very, very touching. He will forever be Liverpool's number 20. That shirt will be retired. I think that's a beautiful tribute to a very important player in Liverpool's football club history. Whilst not unexpected, I think it's hard to think of words because nothing can be beautiful after the tragedy of last week. But it's a very fitting tribute, and one that I think not just Liverpool fans but the world of football will be completely and utterly behind. Football moves on. There is a lot to talk about on the show this morning, and we're going to start off with the amazingly... Well, look, is it justice? Is it injustice? I'm not sitting on the fence on this, so let me tell you the story. Crystal Palace, remarkably, won the FA Cup last season. A dream, an unexpected dream in many sense for Crystal Palace fans, and one that was a very, sobering feeling for many football fans, because we're not used to seeing teams like Crystal Palace beat Man City and win FA Cups, and they did. And they took their place in the Europa League legitimately by winning a tournament they deserved to win. There's certainly no, cheating or charges, or they've got Mbappe playing up front on a loan deal from Lyon or anything like that. However, they have been booted out of the Europa League and put into the Conference League because of the UEFA dual ownership rules, multi-club ownership issues. So the issue is with John Textor, who owns a stake in Crystal Palace, 43%, but owns a majority stake in Lyon. Now, Lyon had been relegated from the French League and therefore were not part of Europe next season. However, they've been reinstated. They go back into the Europa League, and because league position takes priority over cup success, Lyon take the place in the Europa League, and Crystal Palace have to go down into the Conference League because of that. Massively, massively unfair on Crystal Palace fans, Crystal Palace players, who legitimately won a tournament to qualify for another tournament, which would be transformative for that football club. Trust me, you earn a lot more credibility and money in the Europa League than you do in the Conference League. It is a kick in the nuts. Has justice been served? Well, look, John Textor had a deadline of March to register something where this would have been fine. He didn't do it because basically you're registering as a non-involved owner, and that would have been fine by UEFA. He didn't do it apparently, and he didn't do it because he's saying, I don't make any decisions anyway, so why should I register? Simon Parish runs the football club, even though I owe 43% and I'm trying to sell it. So it seems like it's a technicality. Now, some people would say if you're speeding in a 30 mile an hour zone at 33 miles an hour, you're still speeding. So it feels like if there's any blame here, it's going to be with UEFA's strict ruling and John Textor, not seeing this as an issue, because he definitely does have a majority ownership in Lyon, and he definitely does own 43% for Palace. There is an injustice here because Crystal Palace have been absolutely screwed over. And as a football fan formerly and priority, I just think this is wrong. It's completely wrong, and sense needs to be seen. However, technically, you could argue that this guy has broken the rules and, not adhered to the rules and left Crystal Palace open to what is quite clearly the rules there. We might not like the rules, and they might get changed because of the appeal that Palace are going to put in, but they need to be quick because people are already playing Conference League games. My big position on this is that I'm confused about Man City and Girona. I'm confused about RB Salzburg and RB Leipzig, and there are others. So I just think that we need some more clarity on multi-club ownership, because it seems to me if you sign a bit of paper and you do something, it's fine, and this is just a technical reason. Let Palace back in, is what I say. Let them back in and sort your bloody rules out at the end of the day. Moving on, let's talk about some transfer news. We have got another sale from Chelsea, by the way. Not only have they took 52 million from Madueke, they're now taking £25 million from Bournemouth for their goalkeeper Petrovic, and they're demanding £100 million, apparently, according to the Daily Mail, for Nicholas Jackson. And the ridiculous thing is, somebody will probably give them £100 million for Nicholas Jackson. It's incredible how Chelsea do this year after year. I mean, I remember them doing it to PSG for David Luiz. They got about 60 million, didn't they, or 45 million? Incredible. I don't know how they do it. You have to applaud it. The reason they buy so many players is because they sell so many players at very good fees. So Chelsea expect to be active. I think they're going to buy a goalkeeper, and if they get the goalkeeper, I think they've had a fantastic transfer window already. So very, very good news there for Chelsea. What about Arsenal? Well, Gyökeres saga rumbles on. At some point, surely, Arsenal fans, you're just going to say to your club, pay the 5 million. Victor Gyökeres is a prolific European striker. He's only just 27. They want 60 million up front. You've offered 55 million up front. You've given 52 million pounds for Madueke. He's worth more than Madueke. I know Madueke is a little bit younger, but he is. I think we get a little bit silly about the Portuguese league thing, or they're not Premier League proven. He is one of the most prolific strikers available in the market at the moment. 60 million pounds up front is not really going to break Arsenal's back, is it? They just need to pay it. He's not going to go back pre-season with Sporting, and the longer Arsenal drag this out, I don't think Sporting are going to move. If they do move, then Arsenal have played a good game, but I don't think they're going to move. And you don't want to be moving to Sesko now, so just get it done. Pre-season started, the quicker you get Gyökeres in, the quicker he can get fit. If he's not in pre-season, that's a problem. I think Arsenal just need to get moving with this. I know it's only been going on for a week tomorrow, but you would be hoping as an Arsenal fan that gets resolved, because he is going to end up wearing an Arsenal shirt. And it's a bit like Man United and Mbeumo, isn't it? Well, it's not, because Man United have been going on for weeks and weeks and weeks. But these players are going to end up as Arsenal and Man United players at some point, and it's in their interests to be in now. Every day lost pre-season is a day where you're jeopardising the start to their season. So I would just say you need to move and get on with it. Sticking with Brentford, though, Wizza is a player of interest. He's 29 in September. I didn't realise that. Spurs interested, Forest interested. Brentford want 50 million. He's got 1 year left on his contract. David Ornstein was saying the other day that Forest have sort of put an offer in below 25 million. I think Brentford need to get a bit realistic there. Well, they don't, actually. They don't. This is where I'll defend Brentford again. The value of Wizza at 29 in September with 1 year left on his contract, what is it? I would say 30. But the value to Brentford, who, if they lose Mbeumo, Norgard, Thomas Frank and Wizza, could get relegated when you look at the activity of people like Burnley and Sunderland, I would say, if you get relegated, how much do you lose as a football club? Is it not better to keep Wizza for his final year and let him go for free than lose him to a rival and maybe get relegated? So I understand why Brentford want a good price, even though technically his value isn't 50. They're probably looking at what they'd be without him. So I sort of do understand it, because they won't want to lose Wizza and Mbeumo. So I sort of understand that. Just a little bit of Liverpool transfer news as well. Konate, Real Madrid is doing the rounds again. Obviously, we know about Luis Diaz. Bayern Munich, very, very interested there. I don't know. I think Konate's got a year left on his contract, so I think Real Madrid are sniffing around. They were shocking in the Club World Cup defensively. I think there's a lot of work for Alonso to do there. I've got a feeling that Alonso at Real Madrid's not going to work, by the way. I don't know whether I said it on the watch along. I'll say it on here. I don't know what your thoughts are. That just feels like the wrong club to be changing your system and patience. It doesn't seem to work for me. Changing system and patience at Real Madrid, I can see that going wrong if they start the season badly, and they look a long way off being a decent team at the moment. But they therefore need to make signings. Will they make a move for Konate? I think for Liverpool that's problematic. Kwanzaa's gone. If Konate goes, you've got Van Dijk and not a lot else at centre-back, have you? So I think that's an interesting one to keep an eye on, because it doesn't look like Konate is going to sign a new contract, which means he goes for nothing next season. But Liverpool need more centre-backs than Guehi if Konate goes as well. So it'd be interested to know what Liverpool fans think about that. Get your comments in below. Lots to get your thoughts in on there, all over actually. But thanks everyone for tuning in. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe. Whew, it's hot. I'll speak to you on the next one. Take care.